What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. And today we're going to be talking about the Arizona Cardinals 2021 schedule. Um, you know this, this Cardinals team. I have some mixed feelings about them. I'm not a huge fan of the system Kyler Murray's in. Let's get that straight. Let's get that said. I'm not a big fan of this team. Not as big as a fan as some others are. I just think that this Cardinals team still has a lot of room to grow. They're very young. They still have some things that they have to improve on. But you never know. They had a pretty darn good draft, so that could be a difference. So let's get right into it. So week one at Tennessee Titans, I'm giving them a loss right out of the gate. Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, Julio Jones, AJ Brown. I say the Titans get off to a good start and the Cardinals don't. Just unfortunate for the Cardinals. I have the Tennessee Titans coming out to win week one. Yeah, the Titans defense may not be all that good, but I take the Titans offense over the Cardinals offense any day. I'm just not a big fan of the system that Kyler Murray's in, man. I'm not a big fan of that Cliff Kingsbury system. Week two, they're at home versus the Minnesota Vikings. No, this could be another really fun, good game. The Vikings don't have the greatest of defenses, but it's okay. It's okay. Um, Very mediocre, maybe below average. But the offense is really darn good. You have Dalvin Cook, two really good receiving threats. A quarterback that knows how to get the job done. He's seen it all. He's a pretty darn good quarterback. People hate on Kirk Cousins a little much, but this is a hard one. So, it's kind of, once again, Cardinals defense is mediocre. Whose offense would I take? I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings offense, man. That may surprise you. But I think that Vikings offense is a little better. I think they're a bit more dynamic. They could pass and they could run. I think that vet defense could get a few stops as well. That Cardinals defense is definitely a vet defense as well. It's a decent defense. It's okay. Um, just not a big fan of this Cardinals team, man. If you think the Cardinals are gonna do really darn good, it's your opinion. But I don't think they're gonna do really darn good. I think they're gonna do okay. Week three, travel to Jacksonville to play the Jacksonville Jaguars. This could be another really good game. Whose offense am I going to take? Jacksonville's or Arizona's? Because both defenses are, eh. Can the Cardinals run as well as the Jaguars? No. Can the Jaguars pass as good as the Cardinals? Maybe. So, I think that this Jacksonville Jaguars team is more dynamic, man. I think it's more dynamic. I'm going to take the Jaguars in week three. Week four, travel to Los Angeles to play the Rams. Once again, man, the Rams, they're a really good team, really balanced team, and these are teams that are especially going to give the Cardinals some fits. And I'm gonna take the LA Rams in this one. I'm gonna take the Rams in this one. I'm gonna take the Rams. Week five, at home versus the San Francisco 49ers. This is where their first win is going to come in versus a division opponent, versus a solid division opponent. I think this is when they, start to get things going a little more. Maybe Cliff Kingsbury decides to open up that downfield passing a little more. I'm going to keep saying it. Not a big fan of that Cardinals team. I'm not a big fan of the system it's run by too that they're in. Not a big fan of Cliff Kingsbury. I'm just not, man. But I think to get done versus the San Fran defense, the short passing game can actually, play benefits to them versus some of these defenses like the Rams defense, because their linebackers are their corners are pretty darn good though. I think that's where that dunk stuff can really, benefit them. But I just have the Rams at home. And then San Fran, I have them beating San Fran. I think San Fran is pretty balanced. But I'm going to take that offense over that offense. The defenses are very, I think San Fran's defense is a little better, but I'm going to take the offensive side of the ball here. Week six, they travel to Cleveland to play the Cleveland Browns. I'm giving the Browns. I have the Browns being one of the better teams next year, one of the best teams. I think most people do. I just really like the Browns, man. That team is really well put together. But I think I'm going to take the Cardinals in an upset here. Yeah, you may be surprised. The heck, I have them losing to the Jaguars, Vikings, but I have them beating the Browns. It's a little weird, but it's the NFL. Things are weird, and I think this is gonna be a really good game. It's gonna be one of those games where the Cardinals win. That's gonna be a signature win for this Cardinals team and Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury. I think if they play dunk the whole while, I think that offense will do fine, and I think that defense, the defense may really struggle to stop that Cleveland Browns offense, but I think this is a time where this Cardinals team will show the true colors. They're going to show what they're capable of in the future. They're not going to be favored. Everyone's going to be picking the Browns. And this is a game where they're going to be motivated. They're going to be motivated to come in, and this team is going to show their full potential. And this is where they, have a really good game and they beat Cleveland. Week 7, they're at home versus the Houston Texans. I'm going to give them the win over the Houston Texans, man. I'm not a big fan of that Texans team. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. If Deshaun plays, it's going to be a much better game. It's probably not going to be Deshaun. Doesn't look like it right now. Looks like it's going to be Tyrod or Davis or whatever goes on there. I'm gonna predict Taylor. I'm gonna take the Cardinals this one. I think the Cardinals are passing them. I think that defense will be able to stop that offense fine. And I'm taking the Texans. Week 8 at home versus the Green Bay Packers. Another really darn good team, man. The Packers are a good team. If Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing, which I do believe he is, I don't think he's going anywhere. There's some rumors about Devontae Adams now too. So, kind of sucks. They kind of got that trio put together there. They re-signed Aaron Jones. Now they just had to re-sign Devontae Adams, and they had their trio. But I guess they have other plans. I guess Rodgers and Adams as well is having some issues now too with them. I guess didn't really look into that yet, but I think they're all gonna stay. I think Adams and I think Rodgers are gonna stay. Just my opinion. And I'm predicting it off of if Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are playing, and I'm gonna give Green Bay this win. I think that Green Bay pass defense is really darn good. I think that run defense is a lot better. It has gotten a lot better, most definitely. The offense is really darn good, so I think this is just it's going to be a really difficult team for the Cardinals to beat, and this is a game where they're going to lose. They're going to have their heads held high, and they're going to lose this one. Week 9, they're at San Francisco 49ers. This is going to be a really good game as well. I'm going to take the Cardinals in the second matchup over the Niners. I think I took the Niners the first time around. I want to take the Cardinals this time around. Or wait, did I? No, I had them beating the Niners the first time around. I'm gonna take the Cardinals both games. I'm gonna take the Cardinals both games. I really like that. I kind of really like the matchup for the Cardinals over San Fran. I think San Fran is a little more balanced, but I think that Cardinals offense is a little better, which will be the difference. And I don't think San Fran is gonna be as good as some people may think. I think they're a little tad bit, overrated maybe. Just not as big as a fan as of San Fran as everyone else. Week 10, they're at home versus the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to give them the win here versus the Panthers. The Panthers are, a weird team right now. It all depends on Sam Darnold and how that defense is going to play as well. I'm not a big fan of that offensive line. Not a big fan of their defense. It is very young. That's the thing. It's very young, very unknown. They're still learning. I do like Jeremy Chin. I do love Brian Burns. Some really good players there, but I think the Cardinals are a better team than the Panthers. I'm definitely going to take Kyler Murray over Sam Darnold. I'm going to take that Cardinals offense over Panthers offense maybe. I do like the Panthers system a little more, but I think that Cardinals offense is more talented. I think this is a game where they might take a few more shots than usual and come away with the win versus the San Francisco 49ers. Or no, the Carolina Panthers. Week 11, they're at the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be a really darn good game as well, man. There's a lot of good games in the NFL this year. The NFL is in a pretty darn good spot for talent. There's no, terrible teams, maybe, except for the Texans. The Texans are a little different. But, there's no team that's really, that bad, all teams are going to be competitive. All teams are going to get some nice wins here. So do they beat the Seahawks in Seattle? Tough game. Seattle's at home. I'm going to take Seattle. I'm going to take the home team. I'm going to take Seattle. I think Seattle's going to win it. I think Seattle's going to outscore that Cardinals offense. I think they'll be fine on that defense. I think this is one of those games where that Cardinals offense really struggles because of that system as well. They just had a really good game against Carolina, and now I think they struggle again. And the struggles just come back out. So I'm gonna take Seattle in the first matchup of the two. Week 12 is a bye week, late bye week. That's a nice week for a bye week. Week 13, they're at the Chicago Bears. This is going to be a good game as well. It's a very, offense versus defense type of game. Bears have a really good defense. Depending on the Bears quarterback situation, that's going to determine how good that offense is and ultimately how good the Bears are going to be. Um, tough game to say because both teams have their strengths. Both teams have their strengths where the others have their weaknesses. So difficult game, very difficult game to predict in my opinion. Who am I gonna take here? Should I take the defense and that run game? Yeah. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take that Bears defense. I'm gonna take that Bears run game, and I'm gonna take the Bears in this game. I think that the Bears beat the Cardinals in Week 13. Week 14, Cardinals are at home versus the Los Angeles Rams. I'm gonna take the Cardinals this time around. Yeah. I'm very up and down in this team. There's times where I'm high on them, and I think they're gonna do good this game, and then they may struggle versus maybe not as good as a team later on. Maybe they'll this is a really weird team to predict for me. But I'm not. I'm just not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of this Cardinals offense. If you ask me, I'm not a big fan of this team. I'm not a big fan of this roster. I don't think it's as good as some people are thinking. I think they definitely have some growth to go through, as everyone does, as all young rosters, young players do. Of course, Hopkins, of course, Watt, of course, Kyler, Chandler Jones. They have Isaiah Simmons, Zayvon Collins, Buda Baker, Malcolm Butler. They have some really solid players. But the thing is, besides Buda Baker, and JJ Watt, no, besides Buda Baker and Chandler Jones, who's really consistent there? Is JJ Watt going to stay healthy? Is Isaiah Simmons going to stay healthy? Is he going to get playing time, or is the same thing going to happen last year? What's going to happen with Zayvon Collins? Is he going to play end? Is he going to play linebacker? They have a lot of things to figure out. And an offensive system, like I said, I'm not a big fan of. So, but Week 14, I do think that some of their true colors are going to come out again versus the Rams. Versus a really darn good team. I think, they may struggle to run the ball. But I think having Kyler Murray to run is going to be a difference. I think that wide receiver core is going to be fine. Versus the Rams have a really good secondary, but they have Hopkins. They have, they have a few really good receivers that could make a difference. The run game, not a big fan of that. I think it's not going to be very good this year. James Conner dances around a little too much. I do like Chase Edmonds though. He's okay. Yeah, I just think that these two teams split. I think that they split. It's one of those years where they split. Week 15, they travel to Detroit to play the Lions. This could be a fun game as well, but at the end of the day, I think I'm going to take the Cardinals in this one. I like the Cardinals team a little more than the Detroit Lions team. Detroit Lions have a really good offensive line. After that, they don't have too much. So that's their strength, their offensive line, I believe. I think they're going to run the ball really well. I think Jared Goff is going to have those games where he's really good and he's really bad. Just how it is, just how he's been. I'm gonna give them the win there. Week 16 at home versus the Colts. The Colts have to travel all the way from Indy, so that's a plus for Cardinals. Could be a good game. The Colts are a really balanced team. I think this is a game that the Colts are gonna win. I have the Colts winning this one because they're a balanced team. Even if Carson Wentz is I think he's gonna do enough. I think that defense is gonna do enough to stop Kyler Murray or limit him at least. I think maybe Hopkins gets a few big catches on us. Outside of that, I don't think so. Maybe Chandler Jones gets a sack. Maybe, we don't know. We ultimately don't know until we see. Carson Wentz. If he's pretty darn good, the Colts are gonna be pretty darn good. If he's bad, the Colts are gonna be and I think they lose this game. But I'm banking on Carson Wentz being a decent quarterback next year, and I think he's gonna do just enough to beat the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray on Christmas Day. Week 17 at the Dallas Cowboys. Good old rivalry. Remember when these two were in a division together? It was some good times, man. If I was alive, I just heard of the good times. But I'm gonna take the Dallas Cowboys in this one. I think the Cowboys have a better offense. I think that offense is gonna be able to outscore the Cardinals' offense. I like that offense a lot more. Dallas defense, I think, is not as good, but I think that offense is gonna be the difference. Week 18, they're at home versus the Seattle Seahawks. I think they're gonna end off the year with the win versus the Seahawks. Yeah. So you know what? This Cardinals team is weird, man. I honestly don't know how I want to predict you guys. They have all the talent in the world to be pretty darn good, but will they? I don't think that talent is going to come all together. It's going to be one of those situations. They went out and got a few big pieces. J.J. Watt, A.J. Green, James Conner, maybe. They got a few pieces, but are those pieces going to work together? How well are they going to be together? How is this team going to gel? How is this team going to learn and grow with each other? That's the big question. So, yeah, those are my predictions for the Cardinals. So, I have the Cardinals getting like 7 wins. That's they could definitely win more than that. That's for sure. But before I do think they're going to win more, I want to see more. I want to see them be a more consistent team. So I thank you guys for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.